So in today's video, I'm going to talk about my favorite affordable neighborhoods in the whole city of Virginia Beach. And we're starting right now. So I'm talking to a lot of people that are trying to move and relocate to the Virginia Beach area in a vast array of different price ranges. But what I've been finding is that people are having a hard time finding specific neighborhoods that they like under a certain price range. So what I wanted to do today was talk about my favorite, most affordable neighborhoods in Virginia Beach. And that price range is anywhere from like $275 to $325 to up to $400,000. And I'll even throw one in there that's just over that as well. But most of these are going to be under the $400,000 price range. And in Virginia Beach, you can find good houses in nice neighborhoods under that price. It's just more of a matter of figuring out what parts of the area do you prefer to live in. So what I want to first show you is, first of all, you got the map of Virginia Beach. I'm going to show you the MLS listings, or the map of all the listings of these neighborhoods that I'm about to show you and where they are in Virginia Beach, because it's going to give you a theme of where these are. So you see that in general, the houses that are on the eastern side of Virginia Beach are usually a bit higher, over $400,000, or well over $1 million up if you go towards the ocean front. So you see there's a trend, and on the western side and the central side, you find some nice nooks that give you options and different easy access to different parts of the city and the rest of Hampton Roads, and the Navy bases and all that. But you'll find that based on the types of houses that are built in different time periods, you'll find more frequency of the price ranges that you might be looking for, or in this case, under $400,000. Because back in like the 50s, 60s, and 70s, you found more houses built like 1,500 square feet, 1,800 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. But then it wasn't until you got into the 80s, 90s, 2000s, you started to see higher or larger houses, which leads to larger prices, higher prices. That's one of the reasons why you find it's hard to find newer houses that are under $400,000. But you can find those too, and I'll show you some examples of those as well. So we're going to go over a bunch of neighborhoods. We're going to start on the southwestern side of Virginia Beach in a neighborhood called Alexandria. So if you look on the map, you see Indian River going towards Chesapeake down here. See Alexandria right here. I'm going to drop a pin in that neighborhood. But this is right off of Kempsville Road, which is a very, very common neighborhood to focus on if you're trying to commute from Virginia Beach to Chesapeake and back and forth. So I'll drop a pin so you can see. These are actually a newer houses built like in the 80s into the early 90s. And so these are anywhere from like the 3-bedroom, 2-bath size upwards of 4, 2.5. They can be over 2,000, 2,500 square feet in some specific situations. However, the houses that are in here that are under 400,000, you'll find them 3-bedroom, 2-bath in the 360, 380, 390 price range. And you can see that there's some trees, there are different styles. And again, I like what you find. It's a balance of not just the balance of a type of neighborhood, but it's very easy to get from there over to the rest of Chesapeake and Virginia Beach. So that's number one. I like Alexandria quite a bit. Now moving just across Lynn Haven Parkway is another one called Charlestown Lakes. And drop a pin over there. It's a little different. Similar age of homes, a little bit older, but similar general age of houses. These are more built in the 80s and still the same kind of thing. You got ranches, you got 2-story. And I like this area because if you want a ranch style house, there's more here, and that means that there are also a little bit larger lot sizes in Charlestown Lakes. So you'll find them over 4, but you'll still see some nice nooks in here under 400, like 375-ish. Same kind of location, same kind of proximity to the rest of Virginia Beach and Norfolk and Chesapeake. And I just like being close to the city line of Virginia Beach and Chesapeake. So now we're going to go a little bit further north on that western side over towards Regent University, right near 64, and we're going to go towards just past like near the line of Norfolk and Virginia Beach in a neighborhood called Westview. So I love Westview. I actually grew up in Westview Village right here. These houses you can get them in the $325 price range, even sometimes under $3. This area, again, brick ranch, well-built houses built mostly in the late 50s. Very lots of trees, and it's very quiet back here. And again, a lot of ranches. So if you like ranches, this will help. But one of the reasons why these houses are cheaper is because most of these are 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. Some are 3-bedroom, 2-bath. but you'll find that they're a little bit smaller. And so the size combined with the fact you might find a 1.5 bath house in here can lead to the price being less. So if you want, or you're okay with a 1.5 bath house, I think this is a great option. And you're close to Military Highway, which is a pretty common road to get back and forth through town which is up towards 264 right here. And then here you go. This is Westview right here. And then you're also near Indian River Road. So you're very close to lots of things. You can get to the beach in 20 minutes. You can get to downtown Norfolk in about 17. So very equidistant to a lot of different things in different job locations and military bases. So I like that area. If you want to go cheaper, $3 to $325, I think you can find some good options in Westview Village. Now, moving over just a bit, there are some spots close to this area where it says Fairfield near Providence Road that I like a lot because you can get similar to what you can get in Westview Village, but a bigger version of that. And one of the neighborhoods I like a lot is called Homestead, and I'll drop a pin. It's right south of Providence Road near 64. Same idea. You're very equidistant to a lot of different things. It's one of those, you just drive by and no one really pays attention to it, to be honest with you. I love this neighborhood a lot. Similar age as what you find in Westview Village, but you'll find, again, the lot sizes are a little bit larger, a little bit more of you can kind of breathe a little bit more compared to what you might find in some of the other newer ranch style houses or smaller houses that we might find that are similar prices. Homestead, you can find houses in here in the 360-ish, 350 up to about $425. So you can get a decent amount of houses in here as options in under $400,000. So if you want a little bit larger house compared to, like, for example, Westview Village, I think this is a good option for that. And also brick. I love brick. We're talking about a lot of ranches so far. There are going to be different styles, but one of the reasons why there are a lot of ranches so far is because if you want a lower price, it's easier to get more house for your money if you do a ranch, because the houses often are a little bit smaller, and that's what can keep the prices lower. But that won't be for all the houses that we're going to be talking about. Now we're going to shift over down just a bit south over towards where it says Acredale, which is a nice neighborhood, but not the one we're talking about right now. The neighborhood I'm talking about next is Indian Lakes, and Indian Lakes has a few different parts of it. And I'm gonna drop one. Where's the best one? Let's do over near Sharon. Let's do over here. So there are a few different parts of Indian Lakes. You find some more two-story in Indian Lakes, and some of those are going to be over 4, but you will find a lot of houses and a lot of options in the $350,000 to $400,000 price range in Indian Lakes. Now go from there. You're going to go across the road. There's some other neighborhoods in Indian Lakes. Let's go drop a pin over here. These are a little bit smaller, smaller lot sizes. But a lot of these are built in the 80s and 90s, and so you get a little bit more of a contemporary feel, and you get different options for different types of floor plans. And some of these are going to be also, you got a little bit more of a vaulted ceiling dynamic in some of these. And really, actually, you can find in Indian Lakes, you can find houses in the low 300s, like 300, 315, 325. So it's possible. Then moving over a little bit further, you'll see some more different types. I'm going to drop one over here near Fountain Hall Drive. Same kind of thing. You get a little bit more of a lot size here. So it's not super big. The houses aren't super big, but they're not so tiny either. So you can get a little balance of breathing around in your neighborhood and a little bit more of a larger area to where you're not, it's not high traffic necessarily in a lot of these streets, but you also get a little bit more size as well. So I like the balance that you can find in Indian Lakes. It also has an HOA with a pool, unlike other neighborhoods we've talked about so far, because a lot of these neighborhoods are a little bit older, but there's not this one where you do have the HOA. And I think it's a very nice, accessible location as well. So zooming out, you'll see that you're close to Farrell Parkway, which is a very important road because that connects over from Indian River all the way over to Princess Anne, all the way down towards the courthouses and even towards Oceana. You can get to Oceana from Indian Lakes by taking that road. But a lot of common roads, highly trafficked roads, very close to Indian Lakes. But you may not necessarily hear all the noise in the neighborhood itself. So I like Indian Lakes a lot for all those reasons. So now that we're in the same general area as Indian Lakes, we're going to go just south a little bit in a neighborhood called Glenwood. Glenwood also has an HOA, similar style and age-built houses as Indian Lakes. And there are a lot of different styles in here, townhouses, condos, even under $225 even in some places. Then you'll find some that are single family. They're even over $450 in a lot of places. There are a lot of different types of houses in here. And you're going to start seeing a little bit more of a contemporary style house too. Like, for example, this here, the Frogs Finished rooms over the garage are starting to become more common in places like Glenwood. And so a little bit newer feel. You'll be paying a little bit more in some of these spots too. Like again, you'll be paying over $4 in some of these houses. But again, back to the idea that you can find good houses in Glenwood with this HOA under $4, $375, $350. And again, if you're talking townhouses and condos, you can find those in here as well. I'm a fan of Glenwood because of all that. Here's one drawback I think that I find that people give me feedback from, and actually personally I don't like as well either, is that once you're down, so you see here, you got the interstates, 264 and 64. Well, the main roads to get to there are Indian River Road in Glenwood side, Indian River Road, Lynn Haven Parkway, and Princess Anne Road over here. And so you're down on this section down here. Well, the reason what bothers me is that think of all these cul-de-sacs. It takes you a little bit to get to Round Hill Drive, to Independence, over to Princess Anne or to Indian River, and then eventually to get over to the interstates if you're trying to go further into the different parts of the Hampton Roads area, or even to other businesses in different parts of Virginia Beach. There are a lot of stop signs. Not all of the roads are, high speed. They're like, sometimes residential areas, 25 miles an hour. The speeds, it just takes a while to get from there over to other parts of the city and the area. So I would say one of the drawbacks to Glenwood is that, and it bothers me. And so if you're okay with where you live in relation to where you're going to be going, not totally fine, but it just bothers me because it's just that extra little few minutes. It just feels farther than it kind of probably really is. It just feels that way. So now shifting from there, just over a little bit, there's a neighborhood called Rock Creek, which is, I like this area. It's similar to what you find in Alexandria. So both of them are, to me, very similar. I think you can even see right here. You can see what I'm talking about. Similar size and also age houses that were built in the 80s. And so you'll see the same kind of construction, a lot of vinyl siding. So nothing really super fancy here. But again, back to if you want a little bit further closer to maybe a different school district, for example, or like Lansdowne, or even closer to the base, Oceana Naval Air Station, I would consider Rock Lake Loop for that reason. Also a smaller HOA, which you can see a trend here that a lot of the houses built in the 80s and 90s had those small HOAs in them. So if you're okay with a little bit smaller house, you can get these in here like around 360, 350, 375. Now, there are some houses and some floor plans in here that are sneaky big. And I'll go back here and I'm going to find a couple to show you. There are these right here. So these ranches, they look like just ranches, but a lot of these are 4-bedroom houses. And the reason why they're so big or so large, like I'd say 2,000 sometimes plus, and like 1,850 to 2,100 square feet, is that the room above, that room is a bedroom up there. And so you can have a full 1-story, you can live downstairs for the most part, but then you also have stairs that can take you up either to a loft, I think in some spots, or some that just take you into almost like a Cape Cod style situation that some of these houses have. So you find a lot of those. So if you see a lot of these online and you're like, gosh, a 4-bedroom house that looks super tiny, it's a surprisingly big floor plan, and I think that you might find that's a decent option if you want a 4-bedroom house and want to keep the price low as well, because the size itself isn't necessarily it's not 3,000 square feet, but it's surprisingly bigger than it feels or looks in a listing. And then next to this is also Salem Lakes, which is very similar to what you find in Rock Creek as well. So both of these neighborhoods right here just south of Independence and Princess Anne are good options to consider. So now before we go further to the east, we're going to go back up north a little bit. I'm going to show you a couple over on the northwestern side of Virginia Beach. One specifically that I think is it's a sneaky neighborhood. I love this neighborhood called Carol Ann Farms. And right here, it's just south of Princess Anne Road. It connects over towards 264 and 64. You're very close to that. And you can also get to the rest of town. I'd say it's a nice balance between where you are going west and also east and north as well. I'm going to drop a pin here. You'll find some in here. You can see them over 4, but same kind of thing, like 375, 395. You're starting to see them creep up over 4 in some cases, but I think for price combo of size and location, I'm a huge fan. And you'll find some real established little nooks in here. And look at the trees. The trees are great. I really like the balance of what you get, all things considered, in Carol Ann Farms. Now, as you get closer to the edge, down near the water, this is where it's great because you're close to a park, Carol Ann Farms Neighborhood Park. And actually, before I keep going, I'll show you where that is. Nice walkway. You can walk through the neighborhood. There it is right there. I love getting, like, the access to that's great and uncommon to be able to walk to a park like this from your neighborhood. But as you get closer to the Elizabeth River, this is all the Elizabeth River, there's flood insurance that's required for houses, a lot of houses that are near the river. So it may not necessarily be that their houses are going to flood per se, but you're going to probably need flood insurance as you get closer to the water. So not all of Caroline Farms may have the same payment as you'd find for a house under 4 because of the flood insurance getting closer down there. But even still, like if you're closer to even the main roads, there are some really nice nice streets. Even dropping a pin over here, just further towards the west off Citation on Hillgale. It's same idea. It's the same idea over here too. And a lot of vinyl siding. So if you want brick, this might not be the best option because there won't be too many there. But nevertheless, you're going to get more house for your money in a place like Caroline Farms than you might in a place like, for example, Salem Lakes and Rock Creek over towards the east. So now we're going to zoom out, and now we're going to focus our attention on the central part of Virginia Beach. There are some of my best bang for buck neighborhoods are over here. So number 1 is going to be Windsor Woods, a mixture of Windsor Woods and Princess Anne Plaza, which is a big area. Windsor Woods is to the west of Rosemont Road over towards Mount Trashmore, which has its own great things. You can walk to Mount Trashmore from Windsor Woods, which is an awesome feature, very uncommon because Mount Trashmore was one of the biggest parks in all Virginia Beach. But then over towards the east of that, you'll find Princess Anne Plaza, where you can find houses where Windsor Woods was more closer to 415, 385, 375, 365. Even places in Princess Anne Plaza, you can get in the 350, 340, 320, even under 3 in some cases. So drop a pin in Windsor Woods. I'll show you the differences here. So this is in Windsor Woods, and a little bit larger lots. A little bit larger, the trees are there, a little bit larger size houses. You get a mixture of ranches and 2-story. So it's a blend, right? So I like the area because it has the balance of styles of houses. The sizes of the houses are a little bit bigger. So if you want like 18, maybe 17, 1900 square feet, you have more options in here, like especially that floor plan there, the 2-story floor plan. I like that a lot. But also, you get the access to the Mount Trashmore, and I'll actually do an aerial view so you can see where that is. It's a massive park, but there's a walkway just like right here off of there's a long walkway around the lake. Take a Wood Lake Road. You can walk right from Wood Lake over onto the trail, and then walk over to Mount Trashmore. I think that's a great benefit that's underrated because it's hard to get to Mount Trashmore, that park, from other neighborhoods without having to bike, mainly really to drive. And so I think that's a cool aspect. But then here's the thing about Windsor Woods and Princess Anne Plaza. And I'm going to drop a pin on the north side of Windsor Woods as well. Some of the areas don't feel as nice as others, right? And so I think that's one thing to keep in mind is that if you look at different parts of the neighborhood, they all can feel a little bit different. And some of it comes down to how well they keep their yards up, how well they keep the exteriors of their houses up, that kind of thing. And so you'll find spots where you're like, I don't know if I like this one. But then if you go a block or 2 over, you're like, okay, this will work really well. That happens a lot. And not just in Windsor Woods, but also in parts of Princess Anne Plaza. So if you look at Princess Anne Plaza, going over, again, big area. I'm going to drop one over closer to the eastern side of here. A little bit smaller houses. Even still here, you can see like a lot of old growth trees. The houses in Princess Anne Plaza, you'll see more ranches over here, I think, than you would Windsor Woods, but you'll see a balance over here as well. So if you want affordability, big fan of this area. And you're also pretty close to Lynn Haven Mall, which is a pretty big shopping area that I'll show you on the map here too. See, look at all these trees. It's great. Same kind of thing. You'll find some hit and miss spots and also some flood insurance aspects here closer to Bow Creek. This area was decimated by a flood for Hurricane Matthew in 2015, and so they're trying to renovate this whole area near Bow Creek and change what used to be a golf course into a nice a big natural area to help mitigate all the drainage issues. So that's getting better, but still just keep that in mind. You'll see some renovated houses from like about 8-10 years ago. That's probably why, because some of these houses had to be gutted. There's Lynnhaven Mall over just to the east of there, so you're close to that. And I think another drawback, actually, as you get closer to the mall, you're going to start hearing more jet noise. And if that's an issue, the ACU's jet noise zone map is a very important thing to keep in mind, because it gives you a lay of the land of where all the higher jet noise locations are likely going to be. And you'll hear a lot of it in the Lynnhaven Parkway area. So that's something to keep in mind as you get closer to the Lynnhaven area. I'm going to get real detailed here for a second though, but there are some houses in specifically a place like Princess Anne Plaza that have, I'll show you one. So you see where the vinyl siding and the brick connect. So small thing but can be a problem is that where those two connect, there should be no way for a water to get inside into the walls. And sometimes where that connection is not sealed very well. And so that's one thing I'd check if you get a house in Princess Anne Plaza or a house like similar to these houses that are especially the ranch style, where you see that vinyl and the brick connect. Just make sure that you can get a home inspector to check and see if those areas are sealed correctly or properly, because you don't want water getting in behind the wall there. And I've seen that happen before, and it's easy to overlook, but it can cause a lot more damage that you didn't even realize was a problem until it was, way further down the line. You have to take out the wall and all that kind of stuff. So just keep that in mind if you're getting a house like that in a place like Princess Anne Plaza. Now we're going to zoom out. We're going to go further north. So I love Little Neck. If you've seen any of my other videos talking about different parts of Virginia Beach, you know that I love Little Neck. So my goal is to find as close as possible to an area like Little Neck for a cheaper price. And a great option can be a neighborhood called Birchwood Gardens, which is over just so you see Little Neck. Kings Grant is one of my favorites right here. Well, just south, Little Neck Road, off of there, this is Virginia Beach Boulevard. You're going to come up, and Thalia is one of my favorites too, but bookending on both sides, you'll see Birchwood Gardens. And so I'm going to drop a pin here. This is what it looks like. And you'll see kind of a randomness here. You'll see the trees make it kind of a hodgepodge of how the terrain looks and how much foliage is in the neighborhood. And so, in some parts you might not like it. In some parts you will. It goes back to how well the houses are kept up. And they're not all fantastic. I don't like all the floor plans in here. Some of them are weird. You'll see again, 2-story. These are going to bump over 400 into the 425, even 450, but you'll still see a lot of them in the 375 range. And so it's nice to be equidistant to different parts of the area, but also you're going to be 8-10 minutes away from town center, which is a very popular place to go shop. It's the closest to a downtown that Virginia Beach has. So I think being close to that, and look on the map here, just pop over on the boulevard. So I like Birchwood Gardens for that reason. Even Malibu right next to that is not bad also to me for the same price range. So it's all relative, right? So it's about what's the best for the price range. And I think those two options could be very good for the price. Now we're going to go towards the downtown Virginia Beach area, and I want to talk about a specific condo neighborhood that I think it gets overlooked all the time, because when you're in Virginia Beach and you want to be near downtown, you don't have too many options. And so you can pick between a couple neighborhoods. You can pick between some neighborhoods, some brick ranch neighborhoods north of it, which are going to be 400 and up mostly. And then going further south, there's places like Larkspur, Bellamy Manor that are going to be 5 and up a lot of times. There's a neighborhood that is within, you can bike, walk, whatever, access to downtown center. It's small, which is probably why it doesn't get talked about very much, but I think it's always underrated, is Columbus Station Condos. So zooming out again, you see town center right here. Well, as you go down, again, this is, if you can bike or walk, you can get this, you can go down for straight down on Constitution. A few blocks down, you're going to go through the stores, you pass the stores, the movie theater, and then you curve, and then you turn right in here. I'm going to show you where Constitution is. So this is Constitution that takes you towards the town center. Here's Columbus Station right here. These are the condos. So there's some apartments on one side, but if you turn off of Carapace, turn left, these are all the condos right here. Mostly 2-bedroom, 2-bath condos. 1,300 square feet. These were going under 2 in some cases, 200. It was awesome until about a year ago. And I was kind of beating the drum like, hey guys, this neighborhood's great. You can get to town center in a flash, and you can be in this $200,000 price range. There's a condo fee too, but it's even not even that big of a condo fee. As time has gone on the last year or so, those numbers now have gone up to like 225, 245, 250-ish. They're starting to creep up there, but I still am a fan. It's just very hard to find accessibility to downtown this close for this price because there just aren't many places that houses were built. So I'm a huge fan of Columbus Station for this reason. So if you want a 2-bedroom, the floor plans, I think, are also very functional. Now, that leads me over to the eastern side of Virginia Beach. So now we're going to go over towards where a lot more jet noise is located. A few neighborhoods. Number one is near the southern part. So if you are very specific on school district and you want to be over near Kellam, for example, but you don't want to spend too much, a great neighborhood that I think is underrated or overlooked a lot is a neighborhood called Foxfire. So let's drop a pin here. I love them. There's some neighborhoods, there's some single family houses in Foxfire as well. They're over 4 and over 5. But the townhouses are, I think, amazing. You can get these in the low 300 price range, mid 300s right now, I think, too. But nice floor plans, newer style houses, because you'll see more newer houses over into the eastern side of Virginia Beach, over where Kellam High School District is, near Ocean Lakes High School District. That's where more of the newer houses were built, like relative to the rest of Virginia Beach. So it's very quiet as far as like there aren't many people that'll be coming through here. The drawback here is, again, you're going to be finding more jet noise on this side of Virginia Beach. So that's, I think, the biggest drawback is you're in this part of town, but it's not as significant as other parts of Virginia Beach that we'll be going to next. But price range, I'm a big fan. I think all things considered, best option. And as well as you have a garage in a lot of these townhouses too. So I'm a big fan of that. Now we're going to go further north into an area that's more into the jet zone, mouth of the jets, I guess, if you will. Is a neighborhood called Ocean Lakes. Ocean Lakes is a big neighborhood, and it has townhouses and single-family houses. And the single-family houses can go over 4 pretty easily. But the townhouses are still in the 3s very easily also. Even closer to right at 3. You can still get single-family houses around here under 4, and it's not crazy. So I'll show you kind of what I mean. It's a big neighborhood, so you kind of could easily get lost in here, but similar to what you might have found like in Rock Creek, in some examples, similar time period, similar styles in a lot of cases. So you can kind of see a trend here because this is when the houses were built, and this is what this is the popular type of floor plan. But again, the size of the houses can allow for cheaper prices. So if you want Ocean Lakes School District, I would definitely consider the Ocean Lakes neighborhood, because you can get in there at a much cheaper price. And so you also have some small lakes, you got park access. I'm a big fan. I still think it's very well priced for what you get. Now, going across from there's a neighborhood called Red Wing, which is right next to the base. This is not for the faint of ears, I guess, if you will. But if you're going to be stationed at Oceana for $350, $340, $330, I don't think you can find much better for a single family house. Again, are you looking for perfection at $330 or $365 or whatever? No, you're going to get other things in exchange for maybe a little bit smaller house. You may not like how closely these houses are compact with each other, so the yards aren't as big. But again, it's like there's always a trade, right? How much do you want to trade to get one specific thing or a couple things that you really want? And I do think that for what you get, being so close to the base, Oceana Naval Air Station, I think that's a great option to be that close. And it also, once you leave, it's a great rental option as well to keep it as an investment property moving forward. And so if you have any questions about relocating to the Virginia Beach area or through Hampton Roads, I help people relocate to Virginia Beach through Williamsburg all the time. It's what I do. I'm a real estate agent, and I love helping people move here for the first time. So if you have any questions, drop a comment, email, call, text, and I'll do whatever I can to help you relocate to the area. And I will see you on the next video.